I totally get it. Life can be so overwhelming at times when you feel like there's so much to do, and no matter what you try, no matter what you do, there always seems to be more. You get one thing done, two more things come in. You get to go to one place, you get two new appointments. There always seems to be more, like a waterfall that never stops flowing. And then your tendency seems to be, and I know it was for me for a long time and still sometimes creeps in, but I'm very conscious of it now. Your tendency seems to be to then go with that. Okay, so first there was this one thing, now I need to do two things, so I need to go twice as fast. And then when these two new things are done, four new things come in, so I need to go four times as fast, and you go faster and faster and faster. And while you go faster, things start to fall, start to drop things, literally. You drive against a wall with the car, you get a bump. You can't seem to follow the pace of your life because no matter what you do, you cannot pick up things that come to you. It just always feels too much because you're always grasping to the outside. When life gets overwhelming, what you do, you get into the chaos. When there's a storm around you, you jump into the storm because you think you are the storm. Oh my gosh, this is where I need to go, and you jump in, like in a tornado. And he's swirling and swirling and swirling, and like it's like, oh my god, what is this? I can't seem to keep up with this. And it's like a never-ending story because, like a tornado, it keeps spinning, keeps spinning. What do you do when you're overwhelmed with life, when life just feels like too much and never-ending? Then it's time to pause and take the attention back to yourself. Whenever you feel like you're in a frantic state, whenever you're feeling anxious, instead of trying to put your attention to the outside, you go to the inside. And you need to do it very gently, very carefully, very briefly. One conscious breath, like, oh my gosh, I got this bill and my boss is calling me and my kid is crying. Okay, right. I'm looking at the external, all these things are happening, it's happening, but I come to the center of the tornado where it's peaceful. Around the tornado, it's like a mayhem of craziness, but you step out of the tornado into the center where you are. One conscious breath is enough, but you just need to interrupt the pattern and pull yourself out of the storm, out of that circle, out of that spin, because it's a circle. It never ends. There's no end to a circle. When you come into the center of the tornado, you can look, oh, okay, there's all these facets in my life, but they are not me. I am not the storm. I am watching the storm. And from that place, you actually calm down your nervous system. Because what's happening when you jump on everything as soon as it comes to you, your nervous system still is wired that a lion is chasing you from 100,000 years ago. So the more you do that, you train your nervous system. Okay, we need to be in high alert, stressed out all the time, because if we stop, the lion's going to get us. We're in the sympathetic nervous system. But when you cut the pattern, you give a signal to your nervous system, oh wait, that's not true. We're actually safe. And you come back into your parasympathetic nervous system. And breathing is the fastest way. Just take a breath. You interrupt the pattern and you just get to yourself. Even if it's for 10 seconds. You can do it longer brilliantly. I have this often when I'm cooking for someone else. And all of a sudden I feel this pressure to do things right. And I can feel when I'm cutting, like all of a sudden I get like, my hands get nervous, like they're moving and like shaking. Oh my gosh. So when I push through in that moment, I would cut myself. I would have 4 fingers after the meal. So I breathe, I stop, I put everything down. Okay, it's one of those frantic moments. I breathe and I breathe out. I cut the pattern. And then maybe the anxiety doesn't go away completely, but you pull yourself out of it. You are not the anxiety anymore. Otherwise, you're just like all these thoughts and all these emotions and all these things happening. Now you can observe it. Just take a breath. You focus on the inside. I don't like when people tell or teach their kids to finish their plates. It's a crazy concept for me. You're teaching a kid not to listen to your body. That's what I was taught when I was a kid, and most of the world is what it's taught. You finish your plate. For me, it's crazy. What you're doing now, your plate is already fucking full. When things in the outside come, you just pile and keep piling and keep piling. And you've been taught, oh, but I need to finish the plate. So you stuff it all in and you get very uncomfortable. I've had a binge eating addiction for years and years and years. And I finished that plate and I felt so sick in the evenings. And I would binge on cookies and nuts and I don't know what, all this stuff. But it's the same thing. I felt so shit. And it's the same concept here because you are piling on an already full plate. So instead of piling on the plate, you're going to look at what's on the plate already. Oh, okay. Let me just, oh, I don't need that. I'm just going to taste and enjoy this. And maybe halfway you notice, I'm actually full. I don't need the rest. So you can actually observe your plate and see, okay, this is actually an ingredient that I don't like. I'm going to cut it out of my life. And when the plate is full, you get to your next meal. You don't choose that anymore. You choose what's going on your plate. And you can then actually feel, okay, this is what I need right now. And when you have enough and your plate isn't empty, that's okay. It's leftover for next time, or you feed it to the dogs or to the compost heap. But nobody's telling you, maybe in the past, but now today, nobody's telling you anymore to finish your plate when you don't want to or when you're full. You choose what's on your plate. But I'm here to make you aware that you're putting more on top of an already full pile, and that you have the opportunity and the power to stop that. There's a buffet there, but you don't need to pick it because your plate is exactly perfect as it is. Try what's already on there. See what needs to come off, see what you like. And when you feel the world is overwhelming, when you feel the world is too much, pause. Pull yourself out and go into the center of the storm. Tornado never lasts. No matter how difficult your circumstances are, the tornado never lasts. But you do. You last. Take this in as your message for today. As always, thank you for tuning in. And I think you have somebody in mind that will also benefit from this message. So please share this video with them. And as always, I want to remind you to remember that you are epic.